Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Holiday Cup powered by Curse Voice Gandhi, joined by DM. Don't you? I know what you're going to do. I know you're going to use the joke. It's not happening, DM. DM, it's pretty early. It's like 8 a.m. Okay. God. I can't deal with this early, man.
It's like 1,000,000 in the morning right now.
Yeah. So, but coming up here, this is going to be a round one matchup here between Novus and Hinni. We have a lot of notable players, though, on both of these respected squads.
Well, starting off, I would say there's a lot of notable players on Novus. Hinni, I don't recognize a single name, so they're going to have their work cut out for them as their round one's going to be some trouble. Oh, okay, I recognize.
There's
listen.
Pikachu.
There's a guy named Pikachu. I recognize the name Pikachu. I don't recognize it in relation to it being a Smite player.
He's probably a great companion.
If he doesn't play
Possibly,
Zeus, I'm leaving.
I was thinking support, but Zeus makes a lot of sense. Because, like, Pikachu was kind of there on the side of Ash, right? But anyways, into the picks and bans here. Kali, going right away. Here's the first ban, which is something that normally we don't see. And at least in the first stages, they're kind of like, okay, Kali's weak in the early game. I don't think she's a big factor, but get her out of there.
Oh, I mean, she has such carry potential. You get to 20 minutes, and suddenly it's just like, oh, she has a quadra kill. How fun.
I stun tech.
Oh, we have all three of their Phoenixes down and are about to win a whole bunch of money. Oh, look, Kali got a quadra kill.
But right or wrong, right? Like, it's solely dependent on, like, getting chin size online before, like, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Which, at a top level, is very, very difficult. So
third ban's going to be coming out here in just a second, and it's going to be Agni, strangely enough. No spotting of Serket, Sylvanas, Geb, Nox.
Yeah. You're throwing Nox. I haven't talked since the buff. You're throwing Nox into that ratio. The shield gets you.
She's just too much for me.
Yeah, too much for you.
There she is. There are a few characters who do pretty well against her. Notably, Kali actually has a great matchup against her because she can throw the bleed out from long range or have the bleed continuously ticking from the lash, and it rips the shield off right away, which is pretty good. Bastet, same thing. Anything dot related. Sylvanas does pretty well, but put her in lane against any other person. As long as they don't have, like, a really campy jungler, it's just not going to happen.
Yep, well, first pick, no shocker here, is going to be Serket. Serket, she did get a nerf to her, too, recently here. Her mez now lasts 1.4 seconds, maxed out, instead of 2 whatever it was before.
100,000 seconds, yeah.
Which you were just like, by the time you get hit once, it's just GG. And then no shocker here, Sylvanas and Vulcan. This could be a Vulcan ADC?
See, I don't know, but I like this pick here because Vulcan did just get hit, which I think it was actually a much more harsh hit than people give it credit for, because a lot of people are like, I'm still winning my lane. You're still winning your lane because you don't have Gars in the jungle waiting to kill you at every given moment. Berserker Barrage, Brutalize, all these moves that stick to you cannot be broken by Vulcan anymore by himself, making him a much more susceptible target for ganks. But given the fact that Serket's there, she would have been able to pull him out either way, so not a huge change.
Yeah, and the big synergy here with Sylvanas and Vulcan in the lane is that you talk about push potential, but the thing about it is Vulcan can go anywhere and see success. But we are going to see Raw picked. I haven't seen a Raw in so long.
And a curious Nemesis picked up right away after. Now, this could be a bait into the Zhang Kui. They do take out Loki as well, but there's no major amount of tankiness on Novus Orsa.
Yeah, not at all. I wonder who. I mean, they do have Geb still on the table here, which is, like, obviously their first pick. It should be here coming out of this ban phase. I would say Geb, throw the shield on everyone, help out Apollo, help out Ra just a little bit, but that's really all I'm kind of looking at. I don't really know who they should ban out, though, either. I guess they're looking for a solo?
I mean, they could go, assuming Vulcan's going to be going to mid or solo lane, they can go Hunter. Hunter it is. It looks like they're going to take out Rama option back over to Hinni. Where they're still looking for, again, possibly a Hunter. They have their jungler support, possibly a mid laner. It looks like that they're going to go into On Her. That's smart.
That's right. Europe loves On Her. I haven't done a European match in so long. I forgot, like, On Her is, like, an actual thing over there.
Yeah.
Like, in NA, I don't get why North American teams don't love On Her.
Oh, we got an Athena pick. That's going to be cross-level. But the baby pick is curious as they pick it directly into a Nemesis. And he's going to be the prime target. I mean, you're not going to throw that onto Athena. There's no reason to throw it on Apollo or Serket. It's possible it goes onto Ra, but a Weakening Curse and Divine Judgment will actually destroy that baby.
Well, what's interesting, too, is, like, Novus's team is kind of set up for, like, there's no synergy, right? Like, Serket is, like, level 9 through like the rest of the game, right? Apollo's like 15 on, Ra's like the entire game, and Athena's early game.
Right.
Vamana's just, he needs to farm up early throughout the entire lane, so it's going to be like, yeah, and then look at that, your girl every time with you. I swear every single time I cast with you, you like get your way.
Oh man, I lost with her last night in 2v2. That's like never happened before. I was really depressed.
Well, that's you just don't have the dancing shoes anymore.
I don't, man. I had to trade them in. It's too cold out. I'm wearing boots. No, I'm just kidding. I don't wear boots. Ridiculous.
Okay, well, having said that, these are going to be the rosters going into Conquest. We're going to hop to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the game. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Curse Holiday Cup. Gandhi and DM here, and it is time to watch Novus take on Hinni. Picks and bans already done. Time to get into the map.
So just about a minute left before the minions start to spawn. Nothing happening just yet. Obviously, teams are still getting out of the base. Looking at the builds here, nothing too crazy. Heavy Hammer coming out in Vamana is probably the most off-kilter thing, and even then, it's pretty standard. So we're going to have a pretty big meetup here.
Yeah, well, they're in a position here. Will they be able to aggress? And Sylvanas, oddly enough, doesn't have his grab for no reason. Throwing a root out there, you could have probably got someone, but regardless, early on, this is kind of like, okay, 40 seconds, let's get some deep wards down, get some coverage in, but that's really about it.
So looking at the starting levels, it doesn't look like anyone has taken abilities yet. I can't tell if this is a glitch.
Nope. I think everyone's just hanging out.
I'm surprised that we didn't see early wisps come out. I mean, generally speaking, when you're Sylvanas, either A, you're going to take your one, start throwing those roots all over the place to try to get the mana per 5 up in each lane, or B, you just take the wisps. I mean, they give healing, they do damage. I mean, that's what you want out of a character early game, but so far hasn't taken much of anything. Chang'e as well, usually you just build the one. I mean, short cooldown, gives you movement speed, does damage, allows you to backpedal. It's very useful.
Yeah, and were they able to get the speed word done? Yeah, so they were. Right now, based on it, obviously Vamana doesn't have Hand of the God, so we probably won't see an invade into the blue buff. If they wanted to, they probably could get away just because Serket and Vamana have that ability, but I think it's going to be slow. Look at that. I was right.
Go for the blue. All right, they're going to go to the top side. It doesn't look like Chang'e has Hand of the Gods here, so they're going to have a real good chance at this. Yes, stolen away immediately. Variety throwing out some damage as well, showing Pikachu that he needs to behave. He has enough badges to control him.
Which is big. Now, taking the Vamana versus Chang'e matchup, they both love farming, but the Heavy Hammer basically just shows, okay, I'm Vamana, I want to get on you, and I want to kill you before you get basically level 9.
And I like the Heavy Hammer build against Chang'e because it does a few things. One, it forces her to behave erratically. She cannot do the same thing every time. She cannot just go into her normal position where she's going to hit the wave and then continue pushing. Not to mention, since he doesn't have a stat defense at this point, it's just health, he can still dive into the creeps effectively and tank up that damage.
Well, how does Chang'e kind of position herself, right? Because she has a lot of stuff she has to deal with Vamana, right?
Well, against Heavy Hammer, it comes down to her being able to spam, just push out as long as possible, make sure that she can deal damage to creeps, deal damage to him, and keep them healed up. The issue here is that she lost her blue buff, and she can't.
Yep, she can't do that. So mana costs are going to be heavy, but we have a quick pause, so we will be back in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The pause is over, so we can get back into the action here. It is 0-0, 56 seconds into the game, and Vamana has stolen Chang'e's blue buff.
That's right. To start off, they have a pretty decent advantage. Wave to wave, the gold is just about even, but remember, the entire bottom side of the right jungle is still available. Actually, 3 of the 4 buffs on the right or on the bottom side are still available, with speed still hanging out as well. Into the jungle they go as we watch Frostyak and Variety go to extend their lead.
And it looks like Nemesis might get a little bit aggressive here. She does have her speed buff, but she's going to kind of wander around, which could put Raw, Shadow Nightmare, in a little bit of jeopardy here, but he's going to see that coming from a mile away and just sit back. And the Vulcan versus Raw is very interesting, right? Because they both are going to be able to farm up a lot, but Shadow Nightmare, once he hits like 7, he's going to be fine.
Are they going for the invade? Are they going for the steal? I don't know what they're looking for. Vulcan actually...
Gankarino?
No, Vulcan's backing off. It looks like Nemesis is going to try to make the play here, but that's an Apollo and an Athena. Like, that's not real life.
Well, if he gets the body block there, he was able to absorb it, and Athena.
Deku Scrub, it looks like, did not take... Oh, no, he did take his pull, and it's off cooldown, so I'm not really sure why he didn't just throw out the Hail Mary there. That would have been first blood, but Deku kind of dropping the ball there.
Just a little bit. As we take a look at the mid lane here, Vulcan's just going to go ahead and split this camp here in the back with Nemesis, which is going to be big. It's going to keep him up on the experience as well, and then they're going to go back and split the back camp. So very efficient rotations coming out of here.
Overall, it looks like Novus is starting to peer away just by a little bit thanks to the extra farming. Final buff on the map is going to be bottom side speed. Frostiak rotates right to it, and it looks to be uncontested.
Well, if you paid attention right there, Hinni actually had a ward that Serket passed over, so if she even tries to aggress, you're going to see Hinni kind of rotate all the way back.
All right, so left side, Wolf of Elo Street, maybe the first blood sacrifice here. No, but somehow, again, gets out of this. And I'm looking at Deku Scrub again. I mean, he didn't really go for the body block there, didn't set it up. He used the pull, but the Wisps were on or off cooldown. They were still ready to go. This is the second time that I'm going to have to cite this tree here for kind of maybe dropping the ball.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
Trouble.
Yeah, Serket's got one on the left side here. These Harpies are coming up as well. Vulcan has rotated as well. Here comes one Meatball, knocks her up. It's going to get targeted as well, waiting to get that turret on cooldown. It is going to be there, so Frostiak now going to be forced out, and the Pikachu's going to be here, but Shadow Nightmare is going to be there just a little bit too late, and the tree, he just kind of walks through. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I will not die to you.
I know that I'm late to these mid-camps, but you guys got him. Shadow Nightmare nowhere to be found in that situation. Super late, kind of gave them up to Frostiak. Frostiak is pulled. Wrath of Terror goes out, but the beads are going to be good. Also eating the Divine Judgment. They're turning their sights now to the Pikachu, who has been ulted and sent back, doing a lot of damage. Vulcan from the back is going to find it. 4 ultimates later, they find First Blood. Variety goes up, and Athena comes down.
Yep, Athena's going to continue to chase. Variety still getting hit. He might be able to get the second one. Apollo comes crashing in. Here comes Sylvanas, and that is going to be Vulcan dashing away with Nemesis. Sylvanas still taking a lot of damage there. The tree will fall, and Chang'e very loud. Oh no! The Pikachu walked into it.
Lord and heaven, my man Shadow Nightmare making up for that debacle at the mid camps after they sent 4 ultimates directly into a character who has insane movement. They picked them up, but unfortunately, even with the dinner party going on with the 4-man Meatball, it wasn't enough. Shadow Nightmare picking up 3, and now Ra sitting on 3,400 gold.
There is nothing worse than strafing into a Celestial Beam. It is the worst. It brings me back to Kukulkan when his Whirlwind used to do like 18 times the damage. I would be that guy who steps into it and just loses a third of his health instantly.
You know, me and Gandhi always talk about the things that he missed because he joined Smite late, didn't get to experience a lot of the beta stuff. And one of the things that always strikes me is that he doesn't know the horror that is Kukulkan or Old Ao Kuang. Having people sit under towers for like 75 minutes.
I knew it a little bit.
You knew it for like 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, but you know what? That 2 weeks is... I was grinding out Kukulkan, bro. Taking a look, Variety could be in a little bit of trouble here. Slice and Dice is going to come out there, but the baby does... He's got a lot of regen there. He's got 10 seconds for him to go into big baby form, so he has nothing really to worry about at all. But noticeably enough, they were able to get the steal, but we don't really see any kind of movement over to their blue buff as well, even though they have the timer on it.
You know, I'm looking at Variety here. You know, the experience per minute is still pretty vast in his favor, about 60 ahead so far. But the issue here is that Chang'e still keeping pace. Now, we're going to get a rotation here. Frostiak's in the jungle on the left side. Ultimate ready to go. I don't know if he's going to go for it. Waxing Moon is online.
Well, Nemesis, he's baiting it out. They're really trying to get information as well, right? Like, the Pikachu's like, well, if they rotate over to me, I know there's a ward here, so I can sentry that. So he's trying to do a little bit of a mind game here, but the blue's up as well. Variety's forcing him out. And here comes the rotation, hopefully, out of Chang'e. Chang'e's going to be in a little bit of trouble there. The Mez is going to miss. She's going to have the poison on her, and she's going to be able to dance her way out of that one.
Now, remember, Chang'e's, too, is basic immunity. It stops you from taking any damage or any CC, but abilities will still apply to you. So in that case, while she did not actually take the Madness CC, the poison still applies, and you saw the 10% damage get ripped off of her with the passive. Smart play from Frostiak, even though his combo was dodged.
Well, Novus actually going to be giving up the left side camps completely. We do have Athena charging up the dash. We have Chang'e coming in on the backside here. So the right side... Harpies could be in contention, but Sylvanas is going to be rotating in as well. And now here comes a lot of damage. He's going to get pushed under the tower. Here comes a Meatball. Meatball's going to knock up one. Shadow Nightmare chasing in the back. He's going to be taken out by the tree of all people, though. And now we're going to see Athena ult in. Big Baby's going to be there doing a lot of damage on the Chang'e. The stun comes in. She is still alive, though, taking so much damage. Finally, Young Bae is able to clean that one up, but it's not done yet.
That was a 5v4 so far. I mean, still on hers pushing. He's starting to rotate. Running back here. You know, one thing I want to note here is that you look at the left side, there are a lot of notable players players, and if you take a look at their individual characters, each of them has an N adorned on their name. That is a clan tag. I mean, for all intents and purposes, these guys are very serious about this game, and so far, given the fact that they're already behind in gold and they're about to lose the Gold Fury, this is not a good start for this new team.
Yep, well, Athena's going to come in, taunts 3 people. The baby's going to be able to get some. Hinni's able to get the Gold Fury. Wolf of Elo Street's going to go down, and Frostiak all the way in the middle. You got to be careful. He's going into the back line. Vulcan's going to be there as well. He's able to get one. Can he find Sylvanas? He's going to continue to aggress. Young Bay's on the backside as well as Variety. They have the potential, but they won't be able to get it. So now they're left with, you know, taking the jungle. Yeah, I saw the babe. He met.
That was close.
You know, I always look at those babes and I'm like, he's not going to hit it. Right? You know what I mean? You know when you, like, go to your death cam and you're sitting there and you're like, you're watching a player and you're like, you're not going to hit it.
Yeah, right? And then bang.
Exactly.
So Frostiak doesn't quite find what he was looking for there. He picks off one, doesn't quite find the Sylvanas there. Even though, I mean, what it comes down to, when I'm looking at Pikachu for this one, you know, we talked about knowing him only going into this game, maybe a little bit of Flurry Q as well. Yeah. But Pikachu has been the heart and soul of this team. I mean, his rotations have been great. The Divine Judgments have been awesome. Yeah. Every single time he's picked a target, they've died.
Yeah, and it's really just really good synergy of the entire team. But the one thing that's weird to me is, like, when you have, like, a professional team, right, like a novice, right, you normally see them always contest left Harpies if they're order side every time, because if they win that fight, they're going gold for you. But they've been rotating out every time to go right. Like, I don't get why that is. Is it just like, we're in a bad position? Bug just flew down my throat. Is that like a...
So you eat bugs. That's what you just told everyone.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what you do?
It's my thing, man. I'm trying to make it on Dual Survivor. But, like, is it just like a poor positioning?
You know, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of it's just luck so far. Yeah. I mean, neither team has really expressed much dominance in the game so far. It's just been, we're going to pick this one target. We're going to hope we pick them off. We're going to hope their cooldowns are used in the wrong situation. And so far, you know, taking a look at Frostiak, the Cobra's Kiss is being used way too early. He's not finding the picks off. A lot of the times when he's using it, it's either getting immune or it's getting dodged or he's sending someone back instead of forward. It's a lot of trouble, and he has a lot of ground to make up at the 8-minute mark. You can see that even though they do have the kill advantage, they're down by about 1,100 gold.
Okay. Well, eyes on Frostiak here coming in. This is kind of where Surket kind of comes online, is between, like, levels 9 and the end of the game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as the game goes on, she's one of the few assassins that becomes, like, unbelievable. Generally, assassins tend to function best from levels 5 to level 13, you know, mostly looking at Bastet, Hunbots, you know, the gank potential is what makes them so strong. But Surket has such an amazing endgame phase, considering she has 2 jumps and still extremely high damage thanks to the modifier on Deathbane, which allows her to crit.
Yeah, well, we are going to be seeing a duo rotation here. There should be contestation for the blue buff as well. So we are going to see Young Bay and Wolf of Elo Street kind of have to position themselves just so right. And now we're going to see the rotation out of Ra, a.k.a. Shadow Nightmare, to secure that, which is just enough to force him back.
I just saw Vulcan and Ra have a Sentry Ward fight.
Nice.
Shadow Nightmare just barely edging out, winning that 135 gold exchange. Sylvanas rotating in. It looks like the guys on Hinni are going to have control over the left camp here.
Again.
And no presence at all coming out from the guys on Novus. Now, if you notice, the Wolf of Elo Street, which is the Athena player, does not have the clan tag, and to me, this is the player that seems the most out of balance and lacking in chemistry. I mean, he's consistently late on the rotations. The ults haven't been super useful, and when you're Athena, you control the early game, right? But when you put her up against Sylvanas, who also controls the early game and still has a better end game, it's very hard for her to control anything. With that, we need to see her using that ultimate more, rotating faster, and making sure she has a bigger presence. And so far, it hasn't been much of any of that.
Dude, they've lost everything. Yeah. Like, it went, didn't contest left, getting to contest left to, okay, we're not getting either
super
camps.
Late to the Gold Fury.
Super late.
To the Gold Fury. I mean, they didn't even, they had a chance at it. There was no hand threes on the board yet, but they still managed to drop that as well.
Which it's really weird how this is all working, because Novus should be outclassing them completely. But guys, the stasis mode's acting up, so we're going to throw it to a quick break. When we come back, it should be all sorted, so stay tuned. The timer was wrong. I was a little bit early there. We stopped it a little bit short, so we're back into the action here. Nemesis does have the speed buff. Right now, Novus, you're going to notice, does have a lead in kills, but is down by experience and gold.
Is it Novus? Is it Novus?
I'm like the worst person to ask for that, man.
Yeah, no, I would imagine that's true.
Yeah, no. Come on. You remember when you I remember my first day when you're like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Heba was pretty cool, and you're like, it's Habois, and I was like, what are you? Do you have peanut butter stuck to your mouth? Like, what are you saying?
So Frostiak waiting for mid camps, it seems, but those are down for a while, and they will continue to be. It looks like Frostiak's going to rotate to the bottom right side and split this camp out with Shadow Nightmare. Just coming out of the base here, Pikachu on the top side. I'm wondering what he's going to do in terms of splitting. He's level 11 right now, far and away higher than Frostiak, who just got into level 10.
Well, one thing, taking a look at the right side of the map as well, Vamana taking on Chang'e, he was not able to get that early kill in the laning phase.
Frostiak keeps trying to gank Chang'e.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Ooh, actually...
Well,
okay, well,
turn up!
He didn't even need to be there. That was just Chang'e completely overextended, and Variety's like, hey, I leveled my Umbrella Ring.
Yeah, for sure. And the Umbrella Ring's the worst thing because that's slow. It's like a raw slow. You just never realize it until you get hit with it when you're a mage and you're like trying to run away.
It actually has an attack speed slow on it as well. It's just that doesn't really affect Chang'e. But
yeah.
That's something that's often overlooked. A lot of people don't even recognize the fact that it slows your attack speed, which is why, or actually one of the big reasons why he has such great matchups against.
Well, turn up. Blink here's going to miss the root as well. Shadow Nightmare's going to be in a lot of trouble, and Vulcan's able to get one. Nemesis gets the other, or actually Nemesis actually gets the kill on Ra, leaving Wolf of Elo Street.
I don't think Shadow Nightmare knows what Aegis does.
Yeah?
I mean, it's
a possibility.
It's been 2 Vulcan ults now that he has taken without buying Aegis or Bees or something that's going to get him out of danger, but that is the second time he has been picked off by a pretty big nuke, and he needs to be a little bit more careful.
Well, Ra actually, yeah. No, he still hasn't purchased. Has he purchased it?
No, that's a lost artifact.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not even the right area. Yeah, no. That is, he has sprint.
He has sprint, yeah. I was getting ready to say, you know, like, a lot of mid players have a hard time justifying, like, purchases until, like, they get ganked twice. And then they're like, okay, I don't care about my item. I'm putting it on hold.
That is something that Variety usually had such a hard time with, but his sprint and his now creeping curse is done. I imagine this is going to be a weakening curse considering the massive amount of healing. Remember, guys, not only is there a sick amount of healing on Sylvanas and a decent amount of healing on Chang'e as well, but Flurry Q has gone into Dev's gloves, and that will affect that
Shadow
as well.
Nightmare could be in a lot of trouble. The grass is going to be there. Athena's going to turn this one around. Shadow Nightmare's going to aggress. Frostiak's going to come in the back line. He's going to hit the Mez on Vulcan. He's going to be able to get it down. The meatball comes up. Here comes a taunt. There's the raw searing pain. He's going to get forced out, but no follow-up potential.
Frostiak strangely chooses a target at extremely high health. Pikachu walks away from that one nigh unscathed, despite the fact that we had a rather low health Vulcan who could have used some healing reduction. Frostiak once again chooses the wrong target, and his team pays for it. They're still up a kill, but they're still down in gold, albeit their gold difference has shrunk greatly due to their, I think, more stronger ability of farm.
Well, Novus is going to be coming in. Wolf of Elo Street looking for the taunt here, waiting for his team. Serket rotated all the way into the back to her back right Harpies, so she's going to be a little bit late to the party.
Hand 3 available on both sides, and it looks like the disconnect there is going to be real big as they leash the Gold Fury, just afraid of Athena's ability to dash in.
Yeah, they had the advantage on that too, you got to think, just based on positioning and the fact that Serket wasn't even close.
Strangely now, we see Vamana has rotated over as well. Chang'e is here as well. You're going to see her in the back with Sylvanas kind of keeping the peace. Even so, no one taking control of this solo lane. Right camp still up, and we're seeing some damage come through.
Did you see that hit on Nemesis? Just one baseball bat to the face took away a third of her health. Vamana's going to get forced out here, though. Frostiak's going to see this, and Vamana has back. They obviously don't know that, but they're in a good spot to grab this Gold Fury, DM.
5 seconds. No, I'm sorry, 2 seconds until Defender of Olympus is up. Will there be enough time? Wrath of Terra going to be used. There's the ult, and for the 3rd time, Shadow Nightmare is going to find himself on the receiving end of absolute destruction.
Yep, Serket's going to be in the middle. Down she goes. Athena, all eyes on you now. The pillar's going to be in the back. Down she goes. Apollo comes crashing in, and that's going to be Young Bae and Variety working together. Vamana's got one. Can he find the second one? Vulcan in a lot of trouble. He's going to go to the back line where he is going to find himself a Nemesis, and he's going to turn his gaze little bit of poor positioning there, but he's going to continue to aggress. Pillar's going to hit him in the face, and now this should be a disengage.
Beautiful. Maybe not. He dives in, finds two. The slows continuing to connect with the heavy hammer, but Variety has taken far too much damage and trades out thanks to the amazing amount of penetration. But Youngbei, not having any of that, continues his pressure. Defender of Olympus goes off. The root's going to be dodged. They need to separate. They need to get both here. They have to continue the pressure. It looks like Deku is going to sacrifice himself there for the sins of Flory Q. Even so, Athena does manage to find the Gold Fury. They lose an extra person in that fight, but Novus takes the lead in both gold and experience.
Yep, Hinni's the Pikachus, they're going to be killed. Nemesis pushed up there a little bit. Overstater welcome, grabbing that mid tower, but you know, 150 gold for a death, probably not worth.
Right there, Frostiak actually on his back opted for Rage. Now, he has been building crit for a while. This is rather actually unusual comparatively to the normal Jotun's build. Generally, getting the cooldown reduction on first is going to get... Wow, this is so greedy.
I love it.
And he did not... Oh, no, yes, he did get that. He'll jump over the wall. Waxing Moon and the Meatball both going to whiff. And Frostiak will escape with prize in hand.
Well, taking a look at the left side, this is the worst possible scenario for a Hunter ever. You see like 3 people run your blue buff and you're a little bit behind, you just lost your tower. You need your support to rotate, and that's exactly what Sylvanas is going to do. They're going to secure this blue buff. But right now, as we take a look at the charts here, 1,700 experience difference in favor of Novus and 1,500 in gold as well.
You know, this is what we normally see. When a newer team goes up against teams that are comprised of veterans, what will happen is if there is any silver lining, or if there's any like shining ray of hope, it's always in the laning phase, because the laning phase is where there's the chemistry doesn't matter as much. It's just this is what you're practicing all the time. Every game you ever go into is going to have a laning phase unless someone is massively trolling. But when you get into the end game and you're forced to play at a high level of fighting over fire giants, that's where things become more difficult. And I expect as the lead starts to shrink, players like the Pikachu are going to suffer. But boom, another huge Vulcan ult. My man is 4 for 4 so far. Yet the escape manages to happen. Shadow Nightmare has rotated down into 4. Divine Judgment's going to take and force him into beads. He's going to turn around and do some damage there, but nothing going to be gained.
Yeah, Shadow Nightmare, I mean, Anher played that a little bit weird. He thought for some reason Shadow Nightmare was going to aggress on the blue buff area, which was going to be on Nemesis, but that wasn't the case. So now this should result in a tower. Gold Fury's down. There's no reason for it. In the mid lane, we do have Vamana taking on Chang'e, both of them with anti-healing on their kits, so they should be okay in this fight. No one should die.
Oh, pushing forward here. They're trying to get in. Oh, Athena actually diving in is going to find a decent amount of damage on the Pikachu, who smartly uses his shield to heal back up. But, oh, dude, the crit damage in the back. Youngbei will find it with Across the Sky as he continues the pressure, trying to force Vulcan away.
Vulcan's going to get out of there as well. Variety's going to go into Big Baby for him. Eyes on Frostiak. 3 people just looking right in front of him. He's going to take a different route there. He's going to have time to cut them off. If he hits the Mez, his team has to be there to follow up. They aren't, so he is going to go ahead and retreat.
Gandhi, I don't understand the conversation that happened in Picks and Bans of, all right, guys, we're going up against these 4 like major veterans, including Frostiak, who is like one of the most winningest junglers in the SPL. Let's give him Serket.
I get it. I mean, I guess you kind of go for comfort picks, right?
I mean,
you know, in your own weird way, but I just haven't seen a Serket in so long. Deku's going to blink. He's going to use the ult as well. Anher's going to be able to find one. Youngbei is going to go ahead and get himself a little bit rooted there as well, and he is going to be forced all the way out. But meanwhile, Serket, a.k.a. Frostiak, is going to be coming on the backside.
Oh, okay.
He might be in a little bit of trouble.
This is ill-conceived at its very best. Chasing it down. Frostiak actually turning around, realizes the mistake that he made, try to make a play out of it, but nothing even close. The boys on Hinni were probably patting themselves on the back for that, but that is, in baseball, that would not have been a hit. That would have been an error.
Is he going into a Deathbringer as well? Okay, yeah. Rage into Death,
well,
standard.
It's actually pretty confusing that he built the Rage. Rage is
the Rage is weird.
It's not an item you generally see on Serket, because Deathbane will actually not proc the Rage stacks.
Okay.
So you generally want to go into Deathbringer and possibly Malice. Even sometimes Golden Bow is a pretty big pickup as well, though it doesn't have a lot of crit, and that's more of a late game kind of thing. But usually we see Jotun's Deathbringer. I mean, it's very similar to the build that we see on Hunbots. And it's curious to me that Frostiak has gone this route. He is 3-4 right now, which doesn't really put him towards the top, but he has set up a lot of the kills for his team.
Yeah, and taking another look at the build here, Vamana with the height of the Urchin coming on early. If you are going to get that item, you do kind of want to get it a little bit early so you can get the stacks. But, you know, he's 1, 2, and 9. With stats like that, he could have done like an Executioner. He could have worked towards the Chins or Sprint 3. Oh, he does have Sprint 3, actually. So at least he's going to be able to stick to targets. But come on, get the chin size on Vamana. So that's the build.
Speaking of builds, Athena has gone into Silver Talisman, and given the fact that across the way we're going to see Deku Scrub with healing, Apple or Knob with healing, I expect this is going to be a Pestilence as opposed to the Bulwark, which is going to give him a decent amount of healing reduction. With that, it's possible that at this point Apollo could be going into the Unicorn build or the Zappacorn build or any other version of it, as long as he does build the Beat Stick. And then if they get a Divine Ruin on there, which could be started given the fact that there is a tiny trinket currently started on Ra, they could have 100% healing reduction out the gate. Pikachu in a lot of trouble.
Pikachu's going to go ahead and dash away. Sylvanas is all by himself. He's like, guys,
did you see the threat? Did you see the threat there? If Ra hit Pikachu there, it would have actually exploded the poison, forcing out that onto Vulcan as well, doing a lot more damage than he did overall. But Shadow Nightmare does not find the right target, and smartly Flurry will actually just sit there stacking his strangely his. Well,
here's the plays. It's going to be on Variety. Variety's going to push mid lane there. They're going to 4-man rotate, which should give them the Gold Fury if they really want to. But you're going to see Hinni just kind of go ahead and rotate as well.
Frostiak does manage to get out. Serket not dealing with any nonsense with that amount of movement. Rathotera off the blink, going to do some damage, but not nearly enough, though Variety is starting to take a pretty big swing there. He'll heal up a decent amount. They still have a decent amount of healing all around as well with Shadow Nightmare. The Gold Fury has been started, but Athena's still ready to fight.
Athena's going to come in, hits the taunt on 4 of them. Siri Pain's going to connect as well. Oh, here comes Divine Judgment and Vulcan ult. Young Bay's going to come crashing down. He's got one in front of him. That's going to be on her. Can he clean him up? He is able to. He's going to go ahead and dash in. The Mez is going to be down on cooldown. He is just trying to stay alive. Here's going to be Serket. Serket's going to Mez Nemesis. Great play. They have to completely disengage. Young Bay, you got to run, buddy. Oh, he's going to be taken off the map. And just like that, Hinni is going to be right back into this game as they are going to make the XP difference very short.
4 for 1 plus the Gold Fury. Deku Scrub still has his hand of the gods 3 online as they go towards the Fire Giant. Still have to fight the Frostiak.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to make the call right here. Shadow Nightmare cannot get hit by another Vulcan ult. He has been hit by every single Vulcan ult.
Well, he's got Frostiak's coming on the backside. Chang'e might be dead. Here's going to be a Vulcan meatball. There's going to be one. Athena's going to be coming in. They have to kill him.
That's trouble.
Big.
That's real big trouble. She is out of there, but Athena doesn't actually land. He didn't stay alive long enough. So that looks like it's going to be a free Fire Giant, and the boys on Hinni are taking this non-chemistry-based team comp to the bank right now as Shadow Nightmare is getting picked on. Wolf of Evo Street unable to make any plays aside from stealing the Gold Fury. We have not seen him really CC properly in any team fight except for the last one, which didn't even seem to matter. Variety consistently getting pushed out and killed despite his massive amount of defense.
Double Divine Ruins coming out for Hinni. Now, obviously they don't stack.
I don't understand why Vulcan has it.
I think he just wants to deal with like the HP 5 and everything else that he has to go against.
Then again,
right?
Vulcan can do it from far away, whereas Chang'e has to put herself in an awkward spot. But if you get hit by Moonflower Dance, you are taking a 90% healing reduction, which is big.
Yeah, that's really, really big. That's why Chang'e is so strong in every phase. But, you know, the Vulcan nerf, obviously, you know, it's big. But at the same time, Vulcan still has the same kit, and I really like that. But what I'm noticing is that the big baby, taking away the 350 damage when you just get for pressing 4, that seems to be a big difference now.
It does. It definitely does. He's not having the same level of presence, whereas Vulcan is currently sitting top damage at about 18,000. Only one close to him is going to be Young Bay, actually sitting at 13.6. No one else in the game has broken 10K, or rather, I'm sorry, on the Novus side, whereas on the right, they have a few points of decent damage. Well,
Colossal Fury is going to be forced out as well. Variety's going to be in the backside.
He's not
and
healing.
That is going to be Frostiak. He's in the middle. Frostiak might go down as well. The Nature's Grasp barely missing. The Meatball's going to come up. Young Bay in a lot of trouble here. Slice and Dice is going to be missed. It's not every day you see that happen.
And Chang'e just finally joins the fight. Waxing Moon still online, meaning their pressure is outrageous. Give their healing, given their Fire Giant, it's going to be very hard to deter this. And the boys on Novus are currently on the ropes.
Well, eyes on Sylvanas here.
Oh, that was cute, but not enough. Nice dodging. Taunt onto 3, looking for damage. Frostiak in the back line. Wolf of Elo Street going up, but Shadow Nightmare not gonna. No! Let me fix my face. Gonna find 2 on that one. Floricue getting low, forced to jump away. Pikachu very low, forced to actually fall there. Chang'e trying to keep up the healing reduction, but it's just not enough. She's continuously pressured, and they're pushed back.
Well, eyes on Frostiak and Shadow Nightmare. They're going to be coming on the right side. Sylvanas is going to be meeting them head on. They're going to be able to do a little bit. Shadow Nightmare still in the heal, manages to stay alive. He's going to get forced out in the back. Now Athena's going to be there. Young Bay's able to clean up one. Can he find a second one? He's going to be in front of him. Vulcan's going to be able to get one. Apollo now forced all the way out. He's got to retreat. Variety in a lot of trouble as well. But look at this. It's just like it's like a Mexican standoff.
Oh, Young Bay in a bad spot. Shadow Nightmare manages to find one as Variety rotates back in. Moonflower Dance is on cooldown. Manages to jump away there. Crescent Moon Dance not going to do enough damage. Moonflower still down for 3. Waxing Young Bay! Wrath of Terror is going to find the kill, and they're going to be able to turn this one right around, but that's still a 3 for 3 with the Fire Giant, and that is given to Novus even with that final kill dropped, but Variety is not quite backed, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to escape this one.
He shouldn't be able to. Colossal Fury is going to come up on cooldown here.
Healing reduction. He's looking for Moonflower. His healing is done. They're going to chase him down, but right here, Chang'e is
disconnect.
Out of mana.
They need to just give up on this. I mean, Shadow Nightmare's going to be there with the heal as well. Variety's going to be able to get out. That's the best part about Vamana, right? It's super safe. His kit's amazing. He does a lot of damage, and even when you put yourself in a bad spot, you always have an umbrella to get you out.
So 2 things. Looking at Chang'e here, you know, this is one of the characters I play the most, and these 2 things are very important. 1, gonna give him the shout out.
Always about you, man.
Gonna give him the shout out. Full cooldown reduction is the reason they were able to pick off Young Bay. That Waxing Moon came back offline. That was very, very important. It's one of the strongest moves, if not the strongest move in the game at all phases. I mean, it's a stun, does a lot of damage, super easy to hit, wide hitbox, lightning fast. So cooldown reduction, great. But then we see this ethereal staff.
I was going to ask you about that. Isn't it like...
Not worth it.
Don't you need like a fully stacked Warlock stash in order to justify like an E-staff?
It still does a decent amount here. Oh, actually pushed out there. Gold Fury gonna go down the way of Novus.
Oh,
no! It again! 3 for 4. Wolf of Elo Street managing to steal away another Gold Fury. Oh my god, Hinni's gonna feel that one. Gold advantage given back the way of Novus. Experience difference is basically even at this point as the boys on Hinni's are gonna start to rotate towards the right side. This could have been a bait considering Sylvanas. Oh no, I'm sorry, he used his Hand of the Gods there. It is on cooldown, so no advantage to the Hinni boys in any way, shape, or form. In fact, red buff. Wrath of Terror gonna hit 2.
Yep, and that's going to be routine. Vulcan's going to erase Ra. On the right side, though, Serket's going to jump out as well. Wolf of Elo Street looking for the pick if she can find it.
Shadow Nightmare did not use his beads again.
Dude, whatever.
I mean, it's every single time. It's every time. No, you can't miss these kinds of things.
Whatever.
Shadow Nightmare is...
Well, one, it should have been an Aegis. Let's get that set.
Absolutely, 100%. Shadow Nightmare is repeatedly throwing these team fights away. Wolf of Elo Street going to take a double ult to the back, but not really be pressured. Heavenly Agility going to be popped there. They're trying to slow him down. He throws a taunt out, but he's going to get picked off, which means the Hand of the Gods 3 is going to be on cooldown. Only hope is that Frostiak... Oh no, Variety's dead. Don't even think for a second he's getting out of this one, guys.
Oh, well, he's got some big crits here. He should be taken out very, very soon. Stayed alive a little bit longer than expected. Frostiak is able to find one. Young Bay getting free damage here. He's going to be on the backside. He's going to hit the mez, and now he's going to be able to dash out, but nope.
The poison! Nope. Taking on everyone. That was a huge explosion right there, which also stopped the healing. Oh, that was such a big play. Frostiak finds a kill with the ultimate. Did you see it? Yep. That was incredible, but it's not enough to deter just yet. They're going to be aiming towards the Fire Giant. Young Bay's going to find 4, and he's going to lose his health bar for it.
That's greed. You know, he got away by the skin of his teeth.
Well, he couldn't get away. I mean, he had to go and contest this Fire Giant in some way. I mean, it's necessary. Eyes on Wolf of Elo Street once again looking for the steal. He's going to work his way in. Backfire is going to do some damage, and it looks like they're going to reset it. Somehow they're holding.
Wow.
Oh,
Shadow.
Here we go.
Celestial Beam is going to hit as well. Shadow Nightmare is going to push up. And Athena's going to taunt all of them, though. Amazing taunt out of her. But Shadow Nightmare is forced all the way back to the base. Defender of Olympus is down as well, so she can't go back.
Did you see it?
What?
Shadow Nightmare getting hit by the Vulcan ult.
Oh yeah,
Again,
no. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Listen, man, you don't need beads versus this team. Like realistically, like
all right, let's take a look at the board. There's no hard CC on Pikachu.
No.
There's a knockback on Vulcan. There's Waxing Moon on Chang'e, which is an ultimate. There's a knockback possible stun on Flurry Q, and then Deku Scrub has a root and
AoE knockup.
An AoE knockup. Most of this could have been stopped by even Aegis Pendant.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very few things that they could have done to really stop this, and yet, strangely, Shadow Nightmare has opted to go into beads, possibly even for the cooldown reduction, but it's not working. We're 30 minutes into this game, and he is level 19 as the mid laner.
Turn up.
And he wasn't really getting picked on. Every single time he's died, he's put himself in the fight.
Well, the thing that was weird about Novus in the laning phase was that Ra, who has amazing clear potential, and one of the things we always highlight is the fact that he can shove a wave and then rotate to the camps effortlessly.
Right, and he
wasn't doing that
at all.
And it's showing right now, but we are going to be seeing the 5-man grouping here on the Fire Giant. It has been started. This is going to be Flurry going to be pushing people around. He does have to be careful because Serket will destroy him.
Youngbei needs to ult now.
Youngbei not
no,
ulting.
He's going for the split push because they are deterring once again. Strangely, they keep backing off this Fire Giant when they have such a big advantage. This is going to give Apollo the strength of Apollo. They are allowing him to split push right now. Even if they get FG at this point, they're going to lose a Phoenix for it.
Yep, they're going to lose a Phoenix, and Serket's going to be waiting. Apollo might come crashing in as well. It is Youngbei. And he's known to do it.
This is what drives me crazy. They're baiting FG, but all they did was send in the lava. Warp of Elo Street taking the Divine Judgment could be in trouble. He's worked himself to the back line. Ultimate's going to be good and take him down. They're trying for something. Phoenix on the top side is going to be taken. Flurry Q forced to jump away. Fire Giant does manage to go down and the way of the boys on Hinni, but can they manage to get out safely? It's going to be trouble.
Waxing Moon's going to hit the Vulcan. Ult's going to be there as well.
Ooh, that was so close.
Youngbei is going to be a little bit late to the party. Get out of there, Sylvanas. Get out of there.
they managed to find the Fire Giant, but they lose one for it. And a Phoenix, when it comes down to, is they now have 3 minutes to try to put themselves in a position where they're going to be able to make a play with it. If they cannot find a Phoenix in return, if they can't find 3 people in return, this is going to be a big negative. Take a look at the charts here. The goal difference about to skyrocket here to our first, I think, real lead of the game, since it's about the same as it was before almost, but about 3,400 gold, but they're still behind in experience.
Yeah, Skrit has come to play. I think that Skritwin.
This guy,
right. He's come to play. He's been playing very, very well throughout this entire time. And one thing I want to touch on here is when you take a look at this Nemesis build, normally everyone plays Nemesis a little bit differently. It's always Jotuns first, but a Magi's is kind of just like, okay, they have a lot of things I don't want to deal with. Right?
You know what, one thing I've been looking at throughout this entire game is how much damage this turret has done. I wish I could see the stat of how much damage. Everyone seems to just keep walking into it.
Dude, that is exactly what Na told me at the North American Regionals. He goes, everyone tries to put their skill in their hands, right? I drop a turret, I max it out, I drop a turret by level 9. If anyone comes in on Gold Fury, that's half their health gone.
Yeah, seriously. And I mean, I saw Athena take about half her health of the Gold Fury fight in the beginning. I just saw Youngbei take like half his health from it. He took about half before. I mean, people are not respecting that turret enough.
Well, the push onto the Phoenix is going to be coming.
Remember, a lot of healing. Fire Giant, Blink in. Wrath of Terror going to do some damage, but not nearly enough. Shadow Nightmare in the back somehow hasn't taken a Vulcan ult yet, which is very confusing.
Yeah, and Athena's actually going to be ulting on Frostiak here. Flurry's going to be in a lot of trouble. Sylvanas, you got to peel for him, buddy. Youngbei is going to be able to take out Vulcan. Frostiak takes out one. The Pikachu able to take out another one. And now they're going to be sitting in the Rayo. The Pikachu, the Waxing Moon comes in, cleans it up. Sylvanas, and now it is going to be Chang'e working in tandem yet again. This is what happened in the last team fight. They got a lot of heals, and they have the speed to get out of this one, but the chase is not done yet.
Remember, Chang'e died in the Fire Giant fight. The only person remaining now with Fire Giant on the Hinni side is going to be Sylvanas, a character who has started to begin his descent. As his heal starts to heal for less, his damage is much less. The CC is becoming harder to hit as people build more ways against it. He's not a character that's going to function as strongly as Geb would have in this stage of the game. So for the guys on Novus to have gotten this far and to have kept him locked down for this long is going to help them. Granted, Athena not bringing much to this to the table at this stage in the game either. Either way, it looks like the Novus boys are going to have a much better end game considering Apollo stronger carry than on her. Baby and Chang'e going to be about even considering the healing reduction. Ra and Vulcan can go either way depending on what hits and what doesn't versus the healing. And then, of course, Frostiak has Serket versus the Nemesis, both of which have major gank potential. Overall, though, Novus has a slight advantage here, which they could use, but there's going to be a few minutes until FG's up. Phoenix is coming up soon. That's, I think, we're going to wait for.
Three things I'm absolutely in love with. Shell of Absorption on Athena.
Beautiful.
Amazing. I don't understand why people don't get it more often.
Items actually broken.
The Void Stone, turn up, right? The Void Stone on Athena, turn up. And then on the other side here is going to be the Wing Blade on Chang'e.
Yes.
That is beautiful for her.
The Wing Blade does a few things here. One, it's going to make sure that her movement speeds increase, which is great. Two, it's going to give her health, which synergizes so perfectly with Ethereal Staff. But three, and this is something that doesn't do well, is she built into cooldown reduction, which is overcapping her. What she should be doing now is selling the Shoes of Focus and buying Shoes of the Magi. That would reduce the cooldown to 5% below as opposed to 10% over, but it would give her 15 penetration as well.
Yeah, you need the pen at this point. Normally at around 35 minutes as well, we start to see the gold shoes, the Midas boots, if you will, get sold, and they can kind of go into something else as well. I mean, they really need a little bit of extra damage. Makes a world of difference in a team fight.
See, what's making me a little bit nervous in the Chang'e build is she just built into Lost Artifact. That builds into three things. Chronos Pendant, which she can't build with her current thing. Doom Orb, which would be an actual death sentence for her. And Rod of Tahuti, which is a augmented stat for how much magic power you already have. But Ethereal's not giving her anything. She has Shoes of Focus, which gives her 50, and Divine Ruin, which gives her 50. That is not, by any shape of the imagination, a Rod of Tahuti build. This should have been an Obsidian Shard. Possibly. It could have been a Gem of Isolation for a little bit more control.
Book of Thoth?
Book of Thoth would have given her a massive spike and would have been cheaper. And not to mention given her a lot more mana to sustain in the fights for longer.
Wow.
Oh, Frostiak doing some damage there. Stripping away the shield as well. He's going to Beads, jump in with the ambush. That's a dead Nemesis. That's
one dead Nemesis. The Meatball's going to miss as well. Athena's going to ultimate onto him. Sylvanas going to be in the middle there, and Frostiak's going to be able to be taken out finally in the backside. Though Vulcan able to find one. He's so good. And now Sylvanas is going to continue to aggress, but Variety is just stomping through. 330 crits on the reg from him. They have to deal with the baby, but they can't. And finally, he is out of big baby form. Chang'e is going to be there, and now Sylvanas is still pushing back. The taunt's going to hit from Athena. In the backside, the damage is still continuing. And now we are going to see Youngbei being in a lot of trouble. Can he hit a Nature's Grasp? Oh no, Sylvanas, you got out of position, buddy.
Chang'e carrying this team fight, even with that build, doing a lot of damage, making sure they're spread out, they're staying healed up. Wolf of Elo Street actually got a nasty taunt off at the end, but the diminishing returns actually stopped it from doing a lot. Variety is going down. There is no escape for him right here unless he finds a ridiculous clear the path or Youngbei finds a kill. Overall, Hinni manages to somehow find 3 in this engagement, despite the fact that every time they've had Fire Giant, they have lost the fight.
Like, what does that even mean? What is... Dude, that was so weird. They're prioritizing Vulcan and Nemesis.
Here's what happened. That fight, they focused 100% on Nemesis. They used 2 ultimates to get her. She does go down, but then at that point, they didn't need any more pressure. Nemesis wasn't really doing all that much, and since they spent all that, Frostiak goes down, and that's where the trouble has been. Frostiak has been carrying every single team fight from the backline with his huge damage.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Not going to find the stuns this time.
On her's going to have Frostiak in front of him. 339 crit. He's going to be able to take out one. There's going to be another one as well. Athena now forced all the way back. Ra's going to be there. Searing Pain's going to barely miss, and that's going to deter it enough. But wow, I've never seen a Serket just get destroyed by a target who has a 3rd health. That's normally dinner for a Serket.
Youngbei and Frostiak both dying pretty late there. Variety going to be up in 3 seconds, but the entire roster of Hinni is still alive.
I'm pro Hinni right now, bro.
This is
I'm all for
it. Round game.
I'm all for this. I just want you to know that I know that you know now that I want Hinni.
Oh yeah?
It's all about being blindly biased. But no. I love the underdog story. I always have, always will. I mean, and that's what's going to happen.
Oh, eyes on Vamana here, Gandhi. Check this out. We're going to see a Defender of Olympus. They don't have enough time. The Fire Giant has been destroyed. No one getting in nearly in time, and Hinni is now poised to try to take down another Phoenix. Now, remember, guys, no Phoenix has fallen except for the top left, which means it's already debuffed somehow with, well, it will be 5 people by the time they get there. This will be a 5v5. Somehow Novus has to hold them off again.
This is definitely going to be difficult. They have to work together here in this. Obviously, you're going to be eyes on Athena to set it up perfectly, but she can't put herself in a bad position. Serket, a.k.a. Frostiak, trying to get an easy pick on the left side. That's not going to happen. Nemesis leading the way. A little bit interesting there, but that's really just so Sylvanas can fly in there with a blink and go ahead and hit everyone with an AoE knockup.
All right, creeps are in there. Eyes on Sylvanas in the back. He's looking for the blink here. No, he's going to put himself in combat. Wolf Velo Street's going to find 2. Pop a lot of beads there. A sprint starts to come out, and even though Variety is not healing, they're not doing enough damage to stop him. Vulcanol in the back line. Going to find some damage, but not enough. Variety finally goes down, healing, keeping them alive. Oh, but Skit's in trouble. The explosion's going to hit almost everybody. And again, Frostiak's going to be able to keep his team on his back, though dead. Look at the damage going through. Apples is dead. They're going to the back line. There comes Youngbei, missing somehow with his ultimate, but dodging the impale. 4 are down, and again, they lose the fight.
That was a Fire Giant fight that made sense in my head, but apparently poor execution coming out of Hinni. Sylvanas is going to do tree things. He's going to try to stay alive. It looks like the inevitable will happen where he will eventually go down.
Gandhi, the only tree thing he's going to do is get cut down.
Yep.
I mean, if he continues to pressure...
Well, actually, you know, he's actually chilling with his family in the jungle.
They're going for it though. They're not going for any nonsense here. They're going to go right for the tier 2. The 1,500 gold's not going to help them, but the pressure around the map is going to be absolutely necessary. 20 seconds until Vulcan. We do have, however, Deku Scrub is still up with his Fire Giant buff, but the way he's been playing this, I don't see him making this defense. Like, I just don't see it happening.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, he does have Vulcan coming up in 5 seconds there, as well as that's going to be Chang'e in 10. He does have to be careful there, but as you can tell, he's very, very tanky. He's going to be able to kind of be a nuisance for just a little bit longer. Vulcan's going to come back, and now Novus is like, okay, we've overstayed our welcome. Let's go ahead and head back to the house, buy some stuff, 5-item it. Let's do it.
So for our first round game today, we're almost at about 42 minutes, not including the Sys mode, the pauses that we had to go through, the startup. And this is great because before we started today, we were talking about how we were going to go for the Guinness World Book of Records for longest tournament in history.
Yeah. That was.
Oh, and hey, we got a pause. Oh, this is great.
Turn up.
Turn up.
This is fun. So, real quick, as I take a look at the charts here, experience difference 4,600 in favor of Novus, and gold difference actually 1,700 as well.
That's
so the charts have been like
roller coastery.
Yeah, really, really roller coastery. But I feel like Novus, they've prioritized so many things differently. Like, they've cared so much about Nemesis, and Nemesis in that last fight cared so much about the Phoenix. Like, she did no damage.
Oh, okay, we're all caught up here. 42 minutes into the game now.
We got in the DeLorean.
That was actually a 3-minute pause, but we were able to go back a little bit farther. Youngbei just popped a 3,000 potion, which is not something I recommend before having the 400 potion, just because it doesn't give you quite enough in the long run. Even so, Youngbei is sitting on 238 flat power. With the Unicorn build out, you can see the Beat Stick, the Titan's Bane is done. He is 1 potion away from full build. In fact, we take a look at gold in hand, and he does almost have enough. He's about 70 gold away from getting that 400 pot as well.
So here comes the pressure of Hinni. Serket and Apollo are going to be on the back right side.
Serket got the Magi's off of Nemesis there. That's big. Oh, Wolf of Velo Street's going in.
Yep, and Vulcan's going to be able to beads out of that one. They know the beads is going to be down, so Serket should have an easy time here, but there's no real pressure. That looks like they might actually be trying to not contest this whole tier 2 all that much here, but Hinni's going to be going all the way back.
Both teams are just waiting for FG at this point. That's what they'll... Oh, whoa.
Oh, no.
Heavenly Agility has been popped. Clear Path has been popped. Sprint has been popped. Wrath of Terra has been popped.
Oh my God!
A little too late.
Baby, angry baby smash. Nemesis is going to be alive with Sylvanas here. This is going to be a world of trouble for her. She does not have the mid-Phoenix as well. She should be able to get away just a little bit. Sylvanas is going to be in the back. They don't care about him, though.
Run away from her. She has, not only is she Serket, but she's Serket with a speed buff. Deku Scrub up by himself once again, but this time with no Wrath of Terra. There is nothing he can do. He's getting burned down. First round of the day will end, and it will go to Novus, which seems to be almost no problem in that final team.
All right, so MVP of the day. There's two things.
Still Vulcan.
No. Heavenly Agility.
Oh, okay.
And Shell.
Well, Heavenly Agility is like my favorite item in the game.
I think so too. I think Shell. I think Shell.
It's 6-second slow immunity with extra healing and movement speed, like for your team.
Yeah.
How does no one read that and go, I should build that?
No, I agree, but I thought at the end, like, that play call was fantastic. Like, you saw Athena just, like, line up there, and she taunts 3, and then Colossal Fury, he got 3 crits of 400.
Well, here's what happened is that he clears the path with the Heavenly, and then as soon as it ends, he pops 4 and pops Sprint and just gets in there and starts laying waste. And every time they're forced to focus someone that isn't Frostyak, the fight turns. And we're going to check in with a replay in just a second here of just something like that.
Serket.
Yeah, something about some nasty Frostyak stuff. Now, again, they're focusing all their damage onto Variety, and then Serket's like, hey, guys, by the way, watch this. Throws him right into the back line.
This was amazing.
Just everyone's bleeding at this point. Just poison boiling the skin down. Chang'e's actually going to take the Phoenix here at the end. Bang, final hit goes off.
I didn't realize it was also on the minions as well.
Explode.
And when Ra used his Celestial Beam, it blew it up that went on to everyone.
Yep.
That's called teamwork.
That's good teamwork. Shadow Nightmare got caught a lot. As we go on to the tournament, they had a really hard time with a team that is in no way notable. I mean, they did well that game, but those are not players that we see in tournaments. No. As we get later on in the bracket, if they continue that level of sloppy play and sloppy building, they are going to get pretty handled. But we have a really good round 2, guys, coming up, so make sure that you stick around.